This is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by Terry Ellis, Cindy Herron, and Rhona Bennett, En Vogue.
Hey, what up?
Music royalty is in the house, people. What is going on?
How are you?
I am good. How are you guys doing today? I mean, fresh off the Masked Singer elimination, like, tell me everything. Has it sunk in? What is going through your mind today?
I think it's still sinking in.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a wonderful experience for us. We were with a lot of other really great talent, we didn't get to see, we don't know who they are, but it was a really great experience. We're really happy that we said yes to the opportunity.
Were you guys fans of the show? I mean, we're in season 7. Like, did you watch this show throughout the other seasons?
Off and on,
Yeah.
We have, for sure.
Yeah, we were amazed at how other vocalists were singing with these masks on and these heavy costumes. And it was just, it was a challenge. And we were just like, every time we saw it, we were like, kudos, because we don't know how they did it. I mean, now we know.
Right.
Did you have any reservations, going into it? Like, listen, I've talked to many others. Like, I've heard these costumes really are as difficult to see and sing and hear and everything out of as we think at home.
We heard that some of the artists from the past shows had some really challenges with the weights and with the, and with the movement of the costumes. But when the wardrobe team and the production presented us, they first showed us sketches of what their ideas were for us. And when they showed us the sketches of the Queen Cobras, they assured us that the masks part would not be super weighty. And then, the bodycon bodysuits, I mean, that wasn't a lot of weight. We had to suck in our stomachs and be careful not to push the diaphragm out when we're trained as singers. You have to expand your diaphragm like a tire. We was like, nice, no, we better put that air somewhere else. So we did.
In our chests.
I mean, speaking of that, because I've always wondered, I've talked to so many people that have been on the show, but the more I thought about it when I was sitting down to interview guys, I'm like, I don't know if I've ever really actually spoken to any of the singers that have come through the show. Like, is that an advantage being a singer? Is it a disadvantage because, you're trained with certain things and you have certain techniques that all go out the window now when this costume is on? Or is it neither an advantage or a disadvantage? It's just a level playing field.
I think it's both. I think it's an advantage that you can lean on your experience to get you through the moment, but it's also something that you're adjusting to in real time. So we weren't used to having our shoulders restricted or having this kind of weight sit on top of our head or having our peripherals, just kind of blocked and not being able to feel each other on stage. So I think all of it kind of played a role.
Yep.
How did you guys choose the Queen Cobra? I mean, besides the fact that I do think the costume seems lighter than a lot of the other ones that I've seen come through over the years.
Well, they chose it for us, really. And we do feel like we got the luckier end of the stick based on some of the things that we saw, like the baby mammoth. OMG.
Oh my
God. So big. So we got lucky in that sense, but we still had to make our adjustment.
Yeah.
What about, we've seen you sing, you did some Lizzo, you did Save a Little Prayer. Like, was there a favorite performance or favorite song of yours that you guys chose throughout this competition this season?
For me, it was Save a Little Prayer, just because of the vocal rendition. I loved that we were able to finish with that a cappella, and it seemed to go over really well with the viewers.
Yeah.
Was it easier, like at least look at, I think at times we thought Queen Cobra was 2, then there was, is it 3, are there 2? Is it easier, do you think? I mean, like having 3 of you in a costume and kind of competing like as the group En Vogue? Or do you think it would be easier just being a solo person that got involved in this competition?
You mean in terms of
Well, like having three of you and like having to kind of conceal it from the world. And, like there's three and like you could weigh on someone else, like if you're having an off day or, not, there's no shade in either way. Like, I'm just curious, like not to say, oh, you had it easier or harder. I'm just so curious because,
Oh, I think I know, you mean in regards to our performance before we
yeah,
on each other. I think quite honestly, we 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 agreed that we were going to do our absolute very best. We worked really hard with a vocal coach because the wearing a mask and singing is completely, totally different. We were completely 150% out of our comfort zone. Everything we knew was gone. But like Rhona said, we had to psychologically rely on our stage experience. And that even that was a challenge because I had moments where, I'm like singing something that wouldn't be as difficult for me normally, but I had to dig deep just to get it to sound a little balanced, and it still didn't sound balanced to me. So I think we all agreed that we were going to do the very best as a group. We were going to give 100%, but we were also in our own heads that we had to stay focused on self in order to perform our very best, which would then lend itself to the group sounding the best that it could sound. I hope I answered that question.
that makes sense to me. What about like, look, you guys got really far. I mean, you almost won this whole thing. Like, when did the competition and did the competitive side of you kick in? Like when you have a Jenny McCarthy, she's convinced it's like Brandy and Monica. And I have to say, I was then convinced it was Brandy and Monica. As soon as I heard that, I was like, obviously. Like, do you take satisfaction, like, like in fooling a Jenny McCarthy? And like, when did that competition kick in of like, wait, we're still here? Or is it like, well, we're singers, obviously we made it this far?
I don't think we were presumptuous in that way at all.
Not with the challenges that we were experiencing. We were just, let me tell you, we were just so grateful to have gotten past the first performance. And I'll tell you what we did realize was the difficulty and the challenge, and the, what word am I looking for? The tenacity in, as an entertainer, trying to maintain and give your all with integrity,